All right, guys, this is one detail that will completely fix your back attacks and get you finishes without even having to get both hooks in. We're here in top turtle. A lot of times when guys chase top turtle, they like to attack turtle with seatbelt. Now, I'm not a huge fan of attacking turtle with seatbelt because, especially if I don't have hooks in, he's gonna start getting his hips really high, and that's gonna result in me kind of slipping off the top. So I try to avoid seatbelt until I at least get one hook in. So I'm gonna go body lock with an S grip. And now the benefit of having a body lock with an S grip is my forearms will eventually slide and hit his armpits and kind of act as stoppers and keep me from falling off the top. So the most I can really slide off the top is right about there. And then now I'm not gonna really slide off more, and I can always adjust by pulling myself back. So I like the body lock personally. We're gonna use these kind of levers here. I like to pull my elbow into his hip and then open my other elbow into his armpit to create space between his knee and his elbow to start getting my knee in here. The entire time I'm trying to glue my chest to his shoulders and start bringing his heels off his butt so that I can scoop his back foot. So we're here and I'm scooping his back foot. Now the main thing that I see guys do wrong from here when they're trying to take the back is they scoop low at the ankle and they try to pull the guy's knee open. Now the problem with this is maybe I even get seatbelt, right? And I pull him to his side. He's gonna bring his knee to his chest now and limp leg, and he frees his hook, and then now we build back up, and then now I'm falling off the top with my seatbelt. So instead, when we get our knee to the inside, I want you to take your heel and glue it to your own kneecap. So once I have a connection there, even if I went seatbelt and pulled him over, now I have a connection to where his knee's not gonna just slip out. Versus if I'm low at his ankle here, he can slide his knee out by bringing his foot free. So when you go to take the back, you get that knee in and your body lock, glue your ankle to your own knee. And we're kind of riding him here. Now I'm gonna start to take out his post before I go seatbelt. I'm gonna get my hand to the inside and feet to cross wrist. Now I can start going over the top to chase this kind of like tilt here. So I start knocking him over, and then now I'm gonna take my bottom hook out and put it on the inside of his legs, and I can try to shrimp back to get behind him. The main thing I wanna look for now is taking this leg over the top of his hip and crossing my ankles. I don't wanna cross my ankles behind his hip because I don't really have too much control on this side of his body, and he can spin out and kind of get bottom position but escape the back take entirely. So I wanna trap his top hip down, so now it's harder for him to rotate. He would actually have to push my knee down to clear his hip, and then now he could spin. So I'm gonna be here, locking down his top hip, and then now I'm gonna switch from, instead of holding his wrist, I'm gonna cup his shoulder. This is a detail I've been working a lot on lately. If you hold their hand, he can kind of limp arm and pull his shoulder away from my chest and kind of still get space from here. But if I'm holding his shoulder, I can glue his shoulder to my chest. I have his hip locked down, and then now he's not gonna really be able to turn either way because he can't turn into me since I have bottom hook. He can't turn away because I have shoulder and hip connection. Now we're gonna start to set up our rear naked choke, but if I go under his chin here, and I now have to lock my hands. So if I release the shoulder and I go to lock my hands here, he can just push my knee down and then he can rotate away. And then now I'm starting to lose it. Even if I have my choke fully locked in, he can sometimes out-rotate me and I can lose it. So what we're gonna do instead, I have the shoulder and I have the topside hip lock. I'm gonna open my elbow and put my thumb, kind of the base of my thumb, right underneath his nose, across his jaw. And I'm gonna now punch my hand across to his shoulder. And I try to get as deep as I can behind his rear delt. Now that he's facing me, he can't physically really rotate that way or he would, hurt his neck or whatever. So this is gonna kind of keep him from being able to turn to that direction. So I can now remove this and he can't turn that way. And then now I can lock up my face crush. So how we're gonna lock up face crush, my hands deep, I bring my elbow as high as I can to the ceiling, and then I take my hands and I put my outside hand on top of my choking arm. And then now I start to sneak my hand behind the back of his neck, and I put my chin on top of my own wrist, because sometimes our hand's a little high on the back of their head and they can peel it off if he reaches back and pulls my hand down. So I like to keep my hand facing me and use my chin to push my hand down below the back of his neck. And then now we're gonna finish this. It's gonna feel a lot like a twister, but it does choke them too. I'm taking my elbows and pulling them back to my topside hip as I bridge through him. So I'm pulling his neck this way, bridging my hips through his spine. It's really painful and he can't rotate either direction. He can't turn to face me because I have his bottom hip locked down, and he can't turn away from me because I have his face looking to this direction. And then we can go ahead and bridge and finish that.
Hey guys, my name's Daniel the Man-Child Schuardt. This is a Fighter's Advice exclusive. I'm a black belt under Lachlan Giles, 80cc veteran, and I'm getting ready to go out to AIGA next month. We're gonna work on a submission called the Daddy's Milk, which when it goes wrong, is also a really good opportunity to get into an armbar from mouth. So when we're in the mounted position, what I want to think about doing is establishing an underhook first and foremost. Okay, one of the great ways that I've picked up from training with Gordon is he uses this double cross wrist method. From here, if I push one way, he resists and pushes the other direction. I pin his hand here, come in and pin it down to the floor with my second hand. From here, I can go hand over hand, put weight on it, work into a cross face, and then from here, pass this hand to my left hand, and then look to come in and win an underhook here. When we're in this position, what I want to think about doing is not sitting here with square hips, because what this allows him to do is start to create bridges out towards my right and off balance me, get his arm back in, and that sucks. So one of the big things we want to stress in this position is turning my hips in such a way where it's difficult for him to off balance me in this direction. So what I'm going to do is with my cross face and my underhook, I want to turn my left hip down onto my partner's side, okay, and post up with my right foot once I'm on this underhook. Now in this position, when Jack tries to hit a hard bridge in this direction, my base of support is very, very wide, and it's very difficult for Jack to make progress here. From here now, I'm gonna drive through my foot, plant my hand on the floor, and ratchet my head up over my partner's head. Each time I do this, I take a little bit of space, ensuring that I walk my forearm on the perpendicular angle to his upper arm here. As I continue to walk this up, eventually you can get up and get past your partner's elbow. Sometimes this is really difficult. For example, if he keeps his arm on this side of his head, then maybe I can't get it across the center line, okay? And oftentimes, this is because he's slightly turned in this direction out towards my right to your left, Jack. Good, so now very hard to get this elbow past the center. In this situation, what I want to think about doing is taking my right hand underneath my own forearm and grabbing the side of his neck or even the top of his ear here is quite a nice little touch here. What this allows me to do is it allows me to now post my left hand wide and turn my shoulder over like it would be a cross face, okay? From here now I have good position to go into all sorts of different attacks here. Now if this arm here is low, okay, a lot of the time you can use this to step over, working towards triangles, okay? But when we're interested in the Daddy's Milk, we're looking to try and create a situation where I can thread my second underhook in here, okay? Now, because I've got him in such a compromised position here, it's way more difficult for him to try to prevent me from walking this up, okay? So from here, it is literally as simple as walking this up above his head using a finger crawl method, bring this up, and then from here I want to try to go wrist to wrist or wrist to elbow on my partner here, okay? Now once I'm here, the big thing to stop him from bridging in this position, okay, is bringing his chin to his chest. So the first thing I want to do is keep his head up off the floor. If his head can come to the floor, he's got the ability to put much more bridging pressure on me here. So what I'm going to do is going to look to think about bringing my head forward and drive his elbows above his shoulders. What that does is it puts him into an extended position and makes it really difficult for him to recover. So I
drift my weight forward, driving my chest through his elbows to lift his hips up off the mat. From there, I base on my forehead and I shoot my knees up by his shoulders.
Posting up on my left foot. From here, I look to immediately draw his chin up into my groin. Now here, my left foot is going to curl around behind my partner's shoulder, and what I want to do is shift my weight into my left butt cheek to really try and compress his chest down, basically, okay? Now, right now, when we're not like putting a lot of gas and he's not tired from training, it'll take a little bit of a while to get the submission, but when they're already breathing heavy, the second you shift your weight here and chock his head up with your thigh, you can get to strong pressure to finish your partner. Now, the key with this here is don't be content to just put your knee on the mat here like so, okay? What you want to think about doing is going the extra mile to chock his head up with my foot on the floor, bracing into the back of his head. As I do this while drawing his head up with two hands, I can bring him in, compress, get to my Daddy's Milk. Now, when you can't get this to finish, okay, I'm gonna sit like this for Jack's sake here. And when you're putting this pressure and for whatever reason you can't get this to finish, you're actually in a really stable position now. Start to think about peeling hands and passing it underneath your left armpit here, okay? Now as I support his tricep on the far side, I can come in, go elbow deep in my partner's wrist, plant my left hand on the floor and bring my right leg over the face, and then from here bring my hips through, get to a strong arm bar, just like that. Hope you guys enjoy.
So basically he did this exact sequence where he reached inside, he grabbed the big toes, and when he passed, he just made sure when he dug for the heel, right, to keep his knees pointed away the entire time. As soon as you start, like, let's say I have like a shitty outside heel hook twist like this, I already feel it slipping here. And now it's gonna be so easy for him to push my knee down and just get his knee out. To get to the second leg in time, to control them, and maybe you're just feeling like, I don't think I can chase him down. I would say it's always a better idea to go for what I'm about to show. Like if you see, for me, if I see his knee turn down, his toes turn down, like just a ballerina toe it a bit, especially if he bends his leg a little bit, like across my hip line, I don't want to like be chasing here because it's going to be really, really easy to escape, especially like if you're in a lighter weight class, like very light. The lighter the weight class, the easier it is to like pummel the legs inside. Don't bother chasing the heel. They're going to get out, I'm telling you, man. So like if you're a bigger guy, not the biggest deal, but for the smaller guys, you should switch right away. So like let's say we're entering and he points everything down. Just this left hand is just going to travel up and I grab his big toes here. Okay, so now it's going to be really important to pin those big toes to my chest as I have a proud chest. Now, like don't turn really fast because you're going to hurt yourself. We'll just try to turn this way. Right? He's going to hurt himself if he keeps turning. All right, so ask your partner, you know, try to turn down, right? There's too much pressure on his knee and his ankle to turn down, but I can't really finish someone for real here. I'm gonna have to basically switch to inside ashi, or 10th Planet guys call it game over, and for good reason. So I'm just gonna start levering my knees. I pick my butt up off the mat as I pass the leg through. Okay, now from here, I do like the triangle in this position, okay? It's just gonna be a lot tighter, okay? And for this position, we don't want to turn down this way at all, okay? So let me just rotate. Let you turn with me, buddy, so we can face them. The biggest problem with these outside heel hooks is guys will grab them, and again, they'll make that same mistake with the inside heel hook. They'll start twisting. And literally all a guy has to do is just keep twisting with me and push the knee out, slip your knee out, boom. This like happens every single time. So you just stay on the side. Essentially all I'm doing, guys, instead of reaching in with this hand glides up in the shin, I can always get to the big toe. Now I'm gonna fall as I pick my butt up off the mat and pin this to my chest, and my butt stays off the mat until I pass it all the way through. At this point I can triangle my legs. So I'm just gonna move for you guys. So try to stay really tight with your legs here. Don't let them go loose, okay? So from here, a lot of guys will try to keep a straight leg. Try to straighten your leg as much as you can. And so it can be hard to dig for the heel. It can be very, very hard. So one way I've been doing it, essentially I'm just gonna start reaching from my knee. So I go 1, 2, 3, and I keep doing the side crunch and keep climbing until I can start seeing his heel. Now it's gonna be the same catch here. My thumb goes in the middle, palm up, and we're falling this way, okay? So you see we have essentially the same configuration, all right? Now the biggest thing for outside heel hooks, again, is not gonna be twisting this way, all right? You wanna pick your butt up off the mat using this triangled leg, so this foot's on the mat, and it's gonna be the same finish where I'm driving my hips in a straight line and pulling that hand to the shoulder. Now again, once you're good, you can start connecting hands, pulling the elbow into the chest, and you see you kinda wanna be, oh, you good, bro? Okay. So you kinda want your knees to always be pointed towards the heel that you're finishing, especially for outside heel hooks, man. So if you watch, just watch Gordon versus, who's the big Australian? Saunders. So basically he did this exact sequence where he reached inside, he grabbed the big toes, and when he passed, he just made sure when he dug for the heel, right, to keep his knees pointed away the entire time. As soon as you start, like, let's say I have like a shitty outside heel hook twist like this, I already feel it slipping here. And now it's gonna be so easy for him to push my knee down and just get his knee out. Okay, so if you're just going for that traditional grip, really hard to finish belly up or on the roll through. So I just reach inside, picking my hips up off the mat as I pass. And now if you feel like you can't grab the heel, I'm gonna be reaching for my knee. Sorry, but I don't wanna hurt you. Reaching for my knee, 1, 2, 3, I keep climbing until there's a bend in the leg. Now guys, what's your name? Ahmed. All right, so if you're Ahmed here, all right? So if you're him, don't just try to straighten your leg really hard here when someone's bending your leg. Because if I'm doing this and putting pressure on your knee and you just start trying to straighten your leg, there's a chance you might you'll feel a click or a pop because you're putting so much pressure on your hips and your knees. So don't just straighten your leg and just try to brute force out of it because you're gonna hurt yourself. Okay, other than that, I go 1, 2, 3, right? And now I can catch. My thumb's in the middle, palm up once again, and this leg, so the leg that's on the top of the triangle, right? I'm using this to plant on the floor and turn my knees towards you guys. Now it's gonna be the same finish from pulling the hand towards my shoulder as I hip in, and it's an easy finish, right? This one, I would say you guys can use 2 hands for it. Just don't twist. Please don't twist. Hopefully you got that message today. It's the same thing. I bring my head low, I pull, and I hip in, okay? Now, this is the one you must tap to, especially inside ashi, because if not, I'm telling you, man, if your foot doesn't break, it's not your knee that breaks. It's your whole shin. It's like a tib fib, thunderbolt fracture. Very bad. Don't eat this one in the gym, okay? All right, so one more time. I grab the inside as I pass, right? Usually guys straighten their legs, which would be a smart thing to do, especially if they're tall, you'll never reach the heel. Okay, so what I do is I reach for my knee to get a little bit of bend. Now I reach again, I reach again. So it's kind of working like a ratchet. When I feel like I'm good, my thumb comes in the middle and I roll my palm through. So now this top triangle leg can start bridging as I turn my knees towards you guys. Now at this point, you should be able to finish with one hand, but I trust you guys to use 2 hands at this point. So I can pull my hands towards my shoulder, and again, I want to finish all the way belly down this way. Don't twist. If you twist, you're going to lose it. I'm telling you, every time outside heel hook, you twist, you lose it because he's going to start rolling that way. Yeah, exactly. All right, does anyone want to see it again? Yeah.
When are you switching your leg configuration?
Good question, bud. So basically, when I'm here, when I feel like I have this in the center line and pass, I just do a quick switch of my feet, like so. You know what I'm saying? Quick switch. And honestly though, like if you're like really advanced or really flexible, if you can get this right foot on the far side of his hip, which I'm honestly guys, most of us can't do this. It's really hard for me to do it flexibility wise. But if you did that, they are not getting out, bro. Because this one thing is to untie this leg here. That's just one escape here. But if you can hide that leg into, they call it like a shoelace ashi. It's like, bro, it's so hard to get out, man. Because he can't untie my legs, and any way he turns, I'm going to be able to follow him, right? You know what I'm saying? Any more questions?
But then when you want to face, like, want to like use that leg as a...
Oh, no, I can still base on it, bro. See?
Oh, then yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Okay. All right. Let's do it on 2, 1, 2.